I'm Dr. Barry, licensed psychologist, and here we talk about true crime and psychology. Thank you so much for joining. Let's hop right into today's topic. Let's go. Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me know if you all have any general questions about surviving the holidays with your family. This is a video that I like to do every so often, and some people did post some questions. And so I will get to viewer questions in just a moment. One of the biggest things that can come up is just protecting your own mental health during the holidays. And it can be really important to set boundaries and manage expectations. So, to be able to say no. So, something I'm doing to manage my own mental health this holiday season. So, I am not a cooker. I don't know if I don't like to cook. I'm not a fan of, but I like to eat. I really, really like to eat. And so normally I go to our local grocery store and they have some prepared food, and that's what we normally do. This year, I ordered from, and this is not sponsored. I paid the full price for this. I ordered from Cracker Barrel. I will be picking it up tomorrow at 12 p.m. I will be picking up my order. And because on Thanksgiving Day, we meet up with my in laws and we go to this buffet. So we go to, but when we get home, we want to have leftovers. So I want the idea of having leftovers without having to do any of the work, none of the work. And so that will be our after Thanksgiving, like, because for our Thanksgiving meal will be at where we normally go each year for the holidays. Somebody said that they use Whole Foods. Nice. I checked out Firebird. They had an option. There's somebody, it's Uncle. It wasn't Uncle Julio because that's the Mexican restaurant. There was another place that had Uncle in it. An uncle and a J. I think that's what it was. I researched all of the options. Firebirds, theirs was not cooked. Like it was the best price, but nothing was cooked. And it was like, why am I gonna be cooking for 8 hours on Thanksgiving Day? No thanks. Oh, somebody mentioned that they're getting an Airbnb. Yes. So sometimes that is a part of protecting your peace. And so let them be mad. Okay. I'm uh, your peace is important. And when you are ready to leave, you will be able to leave. When you decide to go, you will be able to go. And there, there, when we see some family, we get a hotel room, but that's because in my family, we are all allergic to, so my husband, myself, likely my son, we're all allergic to dogs. And so we do normally get our own hotel room. Or if we do get a family house, then we talk about, okay, these are our quiet hours. Like we make sure to set up certain boundaries up front. But yes, yes, yes. Um, and if you're meeting up with people, it's prepare yourself because there are some people, there's some people that they're never happy for you. And you might just prepare yourself for their silly questions if they are going to comment on your marriage status, on whether you have kids or not, on all of those things. You might kind of prepare yourself for that. I wish people just wouldn't. And so, if we could all agree to not ask those questions, to not comment on people's bodies, unless we're saying, "Oh, girl, you look good." You know what I mean? Like that's the only acceptable comment. Yes, yes, yes. And so, and for some people, they'll either think you're too thin or they will think they'll comment on somebody's size. Like for some families, nothing is ever good enough. And they'll comment on how like, oh, you're gonna get a second plate. Okay, so we'll all breathe through it. We'll all get through it. Somebody mentioned, I love visiting family till I get ticklish of the brain. I can bring leftovers home and binge true crime till my social battery is recharged. I love that. So you might plan to like, hey, I have to head out. I have some plans at 8. And your plans could be catching up on Kathy's channel or something. Like you don't have to be specific about what your plans are. Therapy before or after. Okay, so I tried. I was going to try to take Wednesday through Friday off, and I had clients look at me with the most like puppy dog. They're just like, no. So right now I have a few people scheduled for tomorrow, and then I let all my clients know Friday I'll be available, appointment only. Like not just to see like appointment only on Friday, and everybody's already scheduled for the following week. Oh, you said it's a 14-hour drive. Yes, 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 yes. Um, there are some people that I can only be around them for a certain number of days where I literally, like, even with my own hotel room, just being around them, and it's not that there's something wrong with them, it's just I've healed. And being around them kind of pushes some buttons, and I'm working on that. That's between me and my therapist, but, I know that, like, 3, 4 days, that's the longest trip I can schedule. For some people, when I go to visit, I might not let them know like, when I'm coming. It's like, "Hey, I'll be available for us to get together on Wednesday," but y'all don't know I got here on Monday. And so, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, so I'm not talking to anybody on Thursday. If it's that, like, we have 988, yeah, I'm not available on Thursday. I also plan to put up the Christmas tree at some point this weekend. Our Christmas tree is not up yet. I know some people did it with the shutdown, or some people did it a little bit earlier. Yes. And then know in the house where are the safe rooms. And what I mean by a safe room is sometimes, let's say everybody is talking about politics the in front of the TV or something, going to the kitchen and washing dishes. Or let's say, it's starting to get a little bit too loud in one particular area. Having another space you can go can be really helpful. See, I'm trying to be helpful. My voicemail says, "If this is an emergency, hang up and dial 911." Cuz I'll put up my holiday message Wednesday. Wednesday, my message will say, "I am out of the office. Do not expect a return call until next Tuesday." Because am I booked? Yeah, I'm pretty booked up on Monday. So I don't even want to return calls on Monday. I'll return your call by December 2nd. Unless it's an emergency. Then for my emergency people, they know to text me. Don't even call. Um, all right. I love that y'all are sharing ideas and plans. Learn to say no, but with some families, you have to be strategic or a little. Sometimes we call it sneaky, and we don't mean, but when I say sneaky, I mean if you're a college student going and you really don't wanna stay home for the entire holiday, you know, let's say you need to get back to prepare for exams. Let's say you need to get back to work on that paper or something. Mom and dad, I know how important my grades are to you. I just, I'll be home Monday through Thursday, and then I'm gonna head back Thursday, or Friday, blah blah blah. Like sometimes that can help. I love that people are doing more friendsgivings and looking at their chosen family. I've seen a lot of people do that. And then I've also had to work with some people around grief around the holidays. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. Practice acceptance. And so acceptance is just not fighting the reality. I'm being realistic. So if I know Aunt so and so always does that one thing, I'm not expecting her to not do that one thing. I'm just preparing myself. Okay, so when this happens, this is my plan. because I can't control other people. I can't. And if I'm going to choose to be around them and giving yourself grace. So not everybody can do the cutoff culture. So for some people, they're like, I would feel bad if something happened to my family and I did cut them off for my own mental health and I never spoke to them ever again. There are some people that they're like, I want to maintain some relationship, but I want to protect my peace in the midst of it. And with protecting your peace, sometimes, like, if somebody says, ooh, we need some ice, maybe volunteering to go out for a drive, it might take a little longer to get that ice. I didn't tell you to get stuck in traffic, but, like, you might drive around a little bit longer before you go and pick up that I but sometimes, like, volunteering to do an errand, getting out of the situation for a moment, sometimes that can be helpful. Um, uh, Being aware of your feelings, looking for the positive because, our brains are naturally gonna look at the negative. So, let's say I'm having a really good meal, and then all of a sudden that one thing is said that I've been dreading. Trying to not allow that to ruin my entire mood and the rest of the day. So I give myself, okay, I'm gonna be upset about this for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, like I don't want to allow this to ruin the rest of this day. So I'm gonna intentionally focus on this other thing. I'm gonna go uh play cars with the kids or something. Like, I'm gonna find something else that can be helpful. Um, and so have an exit plan. And what I mean by having an exit plan, sometimes giving them a heads up of like, hey, I can't stay the whole time, but okay, dinner's at 12. Okay, or lunch, or our meal is at 12. I can probably only stay until around 6 if you need an exit. Not everybody will need an exit. Some people will need an exit. Okay. I like how you say your turkey drama can wait until Monday. No. If they need me Friday, it just has to wait until Friday if they're one of my active clients. Yes, and Allison said that's why I drive. Yes, because then when you're ready to go to back to your Airbnb, you can go. Um uh and I love how somebody mentioned having a little job to do. Yes, at the function helps. So, yes, yes, yes. Love having a task. Yes. All right. Let me pull up the questions that people submitted. So I made a post and I asked people to let me know if they had any general questions. Let me see all the comments. All the comments. There we go. All right. And so one person mentioned having to spend the holidays in that their parents recently transitioned to assisted living and kind of feeling a lot of emotions coming up about visiting in the assisted living facility during the holidays. And I think a person can have more than one emotion at the same time. And what I mean by more than one emotion at the same time is that I might be incredibly sad, anxious, and disappointed that, like, this is where things are for my family member that might have memory issues. I want to enjoy the moments that we have, because especially if somebody is diagnosed with a memory concern, then there are if they're diagnosed with a memory issue, there's going to be natural grief that comes up around this diagnosis anyway. And uh letting yourself have that be sad, letting yourself be a little anxious about it, and at the same time, like, finding, like, there might be something good in the midst of it. Maybe the facility has good food. Maybe you get to meet some of the staff. Maybe the staff are having a special event that day. And for my family member that might have memory concerns, them being in the environment that they're most familiar with, that might be what's safest for them. And some families decide to do 2 things. So while they might go visit with the family at the assisted living facility, they might also still plan, like, a more traditional holiday meal, maybe on Friday, or they might they might do something like that where, and not everybody needs to do that, but if somebody was somehow grieving, like, "I really miss not being able to have the holiday," like, I love having the holidays at my house and doing this and that. So finding a different day to maybe host something for some people that might be helpful. I see this question. Any advice on dealing with the holidays? A parent is diagnosed with stage 4. Yes. Um, and therapist is out until December. Grief is hard. And so this will bring up the thing of grief where I want to take lots of pictures. I want to record their voice or video. Um, and when I have a family member with living with a late stage cancer diagnosis, we never know which holiday is going to be the last. And that can bring up a lot understandably. Holding it back and keeping it in just makes it worse. And so if a person feels like, "Oh, I kinda just feel like I could use a good cry," there might be, like, a sad movie a person can watch, because sometimes you allow yourself to cry when you watch something sad, but you might find yourself crying more, like, but you're kind of letting everything out. You might just wanna laugh and just watch something funny. I know we're saving, Kevin Hart has a new special. I haven't watched it yet, and so I know, we'll be watching that over the holidays. Um, and then preparing once my family member does pass, that first year, all of those first without the person, those are the hardest. And so with dealing with grief around the holidays, grieving something I know is coming or grieving somebody that I've lost, sometimes we skip or alter certain traditions, or sometimes we decide to have. Let's say I lost somebody close to me and their favorite dessert was pumpkin pie. And for years, I haven't been able to have it. But this year it's like, okay, I want to eat it and like to honor them, or I want to have it in their memory. Creating a tribute to the person. I know some people create they might do something special in honor or in memory of the person. So for if it's somebody that has passed, talking about them, sharing favorite stories, laughing with them, sometimes even somebody with a late stage diagnosis, reminiscing with that person, talking with them. Um, they may be in a lot of pain, and so they might only have energy for a certain number of hours. I've worked with clients with different diagnoses. And I know undergoing chemo or radiation, or if we're at the point where they're no longer receiving treatment and maybe it's all about managing pain, they can be extremely exhausted. And sometimes they'll feel like there's pressure that they need to make sure everybody else is okay. So if it was my loved one, I would make sure that they knew, like, hey, like, if I can tell they're really tired, it's like, "Hey, if you need to go lay down, like we can, or maybe we just sit and watch the football game or something." And they might fall asleep, and I just let them sleep and rest and just kind of enjoy that time. Um, Make sure to have a escape, or if the emotions do start to get overwhelming, I might need to go to the restroom and just kind of get myself together a little bit. Please remember, cold and like warm, hot. So cold and hot can sometimes get us out of that amygdala fight, flight, freeze, people please. Because sometimes grief can activate survival. And sometimes there can be overwhelming emotions that come up very, very quickly. Y'all know I love a good fidget. Um, Fidgets can be a great way to let out nervous energy. I normally have one. There's probably in the book bag. I try to keep them close to me, and I can't believe I can't find one. But yes, all right. Acknowledge your feelings, take breaks, make sure that you're doing what you need to do to eat well, exercise, get enough sleep. And then I would be mindful of alcohol. So, alcohol is a depressant. And so, if you can avoid alcohol, that's my general recommendation, my general thing. I'm not your doctor. This isn't medical advice. Uh, um, and alcohol messes with sleep. And so, anytime I have clients dealing with mental health concerns, so if you're having a bad day, like I would much rather they do something else than drink. Overheard my new daughter-in-law say my mother said, if you ever don't come to Christmas dinner, I'll disown you." Wow. So the other individual may have a controlling parent, and that's something that your daughter-in-law will have to navigate, and they'll have to decide how they set boundaries, what they do. They may have their own therapist that supports them through it. Your son may have feelings about that, and that's where, they have to navigate those things. Um, I have worked with people that have had toxic family environments, and that's where I shared a video, and I will go on ahead and play it. Because we talked about do healthy families exist? Families exist. It's a short that I did. I did it over on TikTok first. Let me find that one. There we go. Let me see. Let me share. Because this is what I wish everybody could have. You asked, let's talk about it. So, no family is perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect family. Healthy families have certain characteristics. You're able to be yourself without fear of being ostracized, kicked out, or somehow disrupting the family system by being yourself. The role that you have in the family is based on your own personality and not based on the needs of this dysfunctional system. Family members are able to apologize to one another. You're able to have emotions. You're not walking on eggshells to avoid the emotions of one or more family members. And within a healthy family system, you feel safe physically and emotionally, spiritually. You feel seen, loved, and heard, and you're able to make mistakes. All right. And so that video was on a longer compilation video talking about how dysfunctional families can function. I talked about the scapegoat and the black sheep, the hero, golden child, lost child, enabler, caregiver, mascot, family clown, adoption, tips to break family patterns. Um, ooh, okay, good. Something popped up on a different screen. Okay, good. And this video is linked on the community tab. Okay. So if you wanted to check that one out, yes. So that one it's on my shorts. So that's on YouTube, and it is in my shorts. And I can put a link to it in the description of this video, and I'll also put it in the comments. And a link to that longer video is in the like it's in the related section. So that is there. Okay. um if families would do that, my job would be so easy. My job would be a lot easier if everybody could live in a household that had that. All right. So how to navigate difficult family members. As I mentioned, we talked about managing your expectations and having a plan. We've talked about setting a time limit on the visit, protecting your truth and honoring your peace. But what I'll add to that is picking and choosing your battles. So there's some family members that I don't argue with about politics because they like to hear themselves talk and they're not looking to change their mind. And it would be a waste of my breath to go back and forth with them on something that we fundamentally are never going to agree on. So for the sake of my peace and for me to enjoy my meal, I don't even talk about it. And there can sometimes be some creative ways that you can not answer a question. So if I'm sitting enjoying my food, and let's say I was single and Aunt Sally is like, "Why aren't you dating yet?" I could just be like, "Aunt Sally, it's too early. It's too early. Like I gotta if as long as that wouldn't be disrespectful in your family, if you could kind of make a joke of like, just this food is too good for us to be ruining it with that conversation right now." And I definitely get the need to go non-contact, especially with individuals with narcissism, because and Dr. Ramani talks about navigating it even if you can't go no contact, because culturally or sometimes in some situations, I've worked with with college students that couldn't afford to completely cut off their family. But we did talk about ways that they could create safety, ways that they could navigate or manage those situations. All right. So we talked about protecting your peace, picking and choosing those battles, having your grounding techniques. So I love let's say the conversation starts getting too out of hand. Um I have little ear pods that I can put in and I can be listening to something. I can disconnect for a little bit. I can listen to music. I can do whatever. Because sometimes having something else in your ear, something else that can ground you, you might have your, you know, don't do crimes playlist. Like if you need your peaceful playlist, your calm playlist, something that's going to help you stay grounded. And I want to respond and not react because sometimes people are trying to make you the villain. And what I mean by that is sometimes there are people that are instigating, that are intentionally trying to turn you into the villain so they can look like the victim. But if I choose to not engage, if I see what they're doing and I say, okay, let's say they say something real off the wall and I don't want to argue with them, my okay means like like my okay does not mean okay. It's like, okay. Like I'm not gonna go there. We are not going to have this discussion. And I'm gonna choose to own my buttons. I'm not going to I can't control what other people do. I can't control how they feel. I can't control how they think. All I can do is manage me. All right. And uh all right. Sometimes you wanna avoid that one family member, like, sometimes there are some people that you're just like, I just can't with that person." Okay. Remove yourself from situations when you can, and, sometimes we intentionally avoid controversial topics because it's just sometimes it's not worth it. That's where I mentioned picking and choosing your battles. Um Have some compassion for yourself because some people take a negative experience in their family and then apply it to think, "What's wrong with me?" Like, why is everybody mad at like, sometimes people, they then internalize it all, but if you have other safe, healthy relationships, there could just be something happening with the dynamic in the family, and I love to mention that sometimes as I heal, it can sometimes bring up other people's like if I come from a dysfunctional system and I'm trying to heal, my presence in that system, like it can make them realize that things aren't okay, but they might attack the healthy person. Yeah. Or else they'll have to change. They'll have to acknowledge what they're doing isn't okay. And systems don't always do that. I wish more did, but sometimes what they do is they're like, you know, how dare you set boundaries around, I don't know, like, they'll try to make you feel guilty about something, but, nobody else can change what you think, what you know is true. Right now, if I tried to convince you that the sky was red, you'd be like, Dr. Barry, like, even though I'm a psychologist, I'm like, I cannot convince you that the sky is red. When you look up and you can clearly see that it's dark outside, so either it's the midnight sky or that the sky is blue if the sun is shining. That you can trust yourself, that you can trust your eyes, your emotions, and that you're important. Okay? Thank you all so much for joining. I so appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a great holiday. Our next video will most likely be on Saturday, and we will go from there. I hope y'all have a good holiday. Bye.